Spike Literature here. We're talking lit bits. Remember, we would like to talk a little bit more about the literature that we read. We like to talk about the movie versions of the stuff that we're reading. And today it's our girl Jane Eyre. Oh, such a great book, published in 1847 by Charlotte Bronte. Many film versions of it, many varied film versions of it. I know that there was a silent version all the way back in 1910, but I'm not sure that we have access to it. I like to talk about the film versions that I know we can get a copy of. And the first one that I know of is a 1918 silent version called Woman and Wife. Why they didn't just call it Jane Eyre, I don't know, because the main character is Jane Eyre, but of course it was about Rochester and his love for a woman, and he did have a wife. I understand why they named it that. Alice Brady was the actress in that, silent movie actress, and she had quite a career after that, but she died really quite young at the age of 48 in 1939 or something like that. Next version would have been the 34 version. I believe that's the first talkie version of it. And then 1944 is the quintessential Jane Eyre with Orson Welles and Joan Fontaine. It's very gothic, black and white. It's wonderful. Now, 21st century critics of this particular film will notice that some of Jane's her spunkiness, her fight against being classified as a traditional woman is sort of missing in that version of the film. It's very interesting, but of course it was made in the 40s when women were just starting to reestablish who they were and redefine who they were. 70s and 80s, there were a number of varying versions from the BBC. Franco Zeffirelli made a version in the 90s, as did the A&E company. And then the one that I really like is the most recent one from 2011. It's got Michael Fassbinder and Mia Wasikowska, the Tim Burton's Alice from that series. And what's interesting about that is they don't start at the beginning of the book in the Lowood stories. They start kind of in the middle where she is sort of battling herself whether she should marry Reverend Rivers or go back to Mr. Rochester. So lots of good versions. Remember, read it, then watch it. The idea here is to get the themes and to be moved by whatever version of this story you see. There's even a musical version of Jane Eyre now. So, like we say around here, read it, then watch it.